Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotza Ben and Friends, where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yeah.
And Rose.
Hi.
You have been booked here in this prison for crimes unknown to us, but you're stuck with us here in this detention cell, so might as well listen to us talk about it. Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers, so that we hope through both of our perspectives as we play through the series, it will reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we have all played through the second case of Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Miles Edgeworth, The Imprisoned Turnabout. This is the second case in the fan-translated game, and it's the first, real big case. And by now, the game has already really shown its hand that it is going to live up to its reputation as a very long game. So yeah, I will quick do the summary for this case, and then we will dive into the details. So a mere 2 days after the fake assassination attempt, Miles Edgeworth and Gumshoe are at the detention center to interview Knightley before his trial, when the man is suddenly murdered. What ensues is a cacophony of prison chaos in which several inmates are suspected of the crime, as well as an outside individual who visited Knightley, Simon Keyes. During this investigation, Miles encounters Ray Shields, an old friend and work partner of his father. And after the new judge in town, Justine Courtney, and her oddball child sidekick, Sebastian DeBest, take Miles off the case, he joins up as a subordinate of Shields to continue the investigation. So, all the cliches are here. Escape tunnels being dug, security cameras being tampered with, and noble assassins again chuckling and scheming in the shadows. After many animals are interviewed, circuses torn down, and old faces seen again, Miles, K, Gumshoe, and Shields knock away the accusations of Courtney and DeBest against Keyes and prove that it was none other than the prison warden that was the true murderer. She then explodes in a shower of animals. No, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a pretty long second case, all said.
Oh, bloody. Woof.
And, so we pick up, again, really close to everything from the first case. Again, this is Miles Edgeworth's no bad, very good fortnight.
When will Miles Edgeworth be in Fortnite?
That's also a good question.
When?
Oh my God.
Ace Attorney
Also,
Fortnite.
I realized I entirely butchered that phrase.
Yeah, holy
After I said it, I said it entirely
perfect.
backwards. I said it backwards.
It's
But
fine.
yes.
I mean, you got the point across.
Listen, here's the thing. Capcom already has, characters in Fortnite. Ryu and Chun-Li are in there, so listen, come on. Give me Phoenix and Edgeworth. But yes. Let's
getting
go.
shot, and then, you just hear, an objection, and then you come back to life.
Yeah.
And
I can't imagine hearing that.
To be fair, imagining Pearl and Maya fucking Fortnite dancing over my corpse is really funny.
Yeah,
That is actually, that's perfect. Yeah.
Can I
Pearl
just
is
skip
melee
to that?
only, but she can run at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You just see her coming over the hill.
That would be a good
running
time to
noise.
mention, I think the only person here who's ever touched Fortnite is Ben. So
Whoa, hey, I played Fortnite.
You played
I would-
Fortnite?
Yeah.
I would spend money in Fortnite if it was for Phoenix Wright characters,
Yeah,
but that's the
I mean,
only way I would ever spend money in
You know,
Fortnite. Yeah.
My-
it seems like a lark every now and then, but
My cousin would come over, my casino cousin, and then he'd come over and he was just blunt. I'm not gonna say anything, but he would just be like, "Yeah, let's play Fortnite," and I was like, "Okay." So I played Fortnite. I got my own victory royale.
There you go. I've never played a Fortnite. I'm out of touch with the kids.
So,
Yeah.
after our
They put
Fortnite detour,
Wild.
yes, we crash headlong into this prison. So I guess I want to go around and get everybody's vibes for this case overall, and then we can kind of get into the details and the muddy details, the mud packs. So let's start with Tiago. How was the vibes for this one for you?
I felt like you didn't mention some stuff in the overall synopsis, and that's like
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
there's a
I couldn't
lot
get to it
in
all.
this case, and like I do like this case, but I've never had a case like I don't know if it's gonna be a running theme in the game, but like every case in this game so far has felt like a final case. Like this one felt like a final case because there are so many fucking twists and turns in this one. Like, oh my god, like all the prisoners, all the cameos. I was straight up. There's a moment in the game where like you hear what like, oh yeah, cool. The prison is having a fucking like animal show. That's cool. And then the Very Big Circus theme starts playing, and I never had like harder whiplash before.
It's like war flashbacks starting to happen.
And I go, surely we won't meet any of the Big Berry Circus members. It's like, lo and behold.
Oh, boy.
Simon.
Yeah, and then when Justine Courtney says, have you ever heard of the Big Berry Circus? And it's like,
bitch, have I?
Just like monkey screaming in the back of my mind.
The Kill Bill sirens just start to play.
All that to say, I do really enjoy this case. I like a lot of the characters. I like a lot of the sprites. The only like oil stain that appears here is the fact that we have to see one blonde motherfucker. What's her name? The one from
Regina Berry.
Regina Berry.
Who
Regina
is
Berry.
exactly the same. No change. No lessons learned.
No lessons
Head
learned.
empty. No thoughts.
I want to say that like that killer from the case should have gotten the job fucking done right. He fucked up when he. Regina Berry's a menace.
She's 16.
She's a menace. So was
She
Michael
is
Myers when he killed all those people.
It's been exactly 1 year, so she's not 16 anymore. She's
17
now.
Oh,
She's
okay.
17.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Still underage, but
Yep.
still a year later and hasn't learned a damn thing.
Still a year later, and a lot of men not learning a lot of fucking lessons.
It could have been worse. It could have been the clown.
Honestly, I would have preferred the fucking
I would
clown.
not prefer the clown.
We saw the poster, and Maximilian Galactica was still on that damn poster. So.
Yeah, I actually kind of do want to see Max.
Max is fine.
That
except
son of a
how
bitch.
like his...
No, Max was the one who was also interested in Regina. Don't.
Yeah, I
he was
actually
also
just
macking
remember.
on
He's
a
not free of
16-year-old.
sin. But we can't re-legislate
He was
the
Yeah.
Big
closer
Berry
to
Circus
her
right
age,
now.
but not enough.
Overall, really enjoy this case, except for the fact that Regina Berry showed up.
Okay.
Okay, fair.
All right. Let's go to Dessy then. How did you feel overall about this case?
This was one of the cases. Well, there's a lot of cases that I find annoying, and I thought this one would be one, but it's surprisingly not. Other than seeing characters again that you hoped weren't going to have to see again, but overall, I don't know. I thought it was fun. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with prisoners and animals and doggies.
Yeah. Did you enjoy all the animals showing up?
Yeah.
All right. So Rose, how did you feel about this case then?
So this case, I didn't mind it overall. I did think it was a bit long and convoluted, but I think that is just gonna be how it is for this game. I too was enraged to see Regina. I thought seeing Frank saw it from the first case of the first game again was kind of a nice touch, though.
That was perfect.
I thought that was
amazing.
That was really well done, actually. Just, and also, like, we haven't really talked about Ray Shields, but I think he's a pretty fun addition. Aside from the fact that he's, like, really unabashedly horny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to hug every single woman he encounters.
He does offer to hug Miles, too. But yeah, we don't like a free hugs guy.
No,
But
we do not stand a free hugs guy.
we do not. No free hugs. It's over. It's what do you think it is? Like 2008? No.
I think it might have been like 2010 when this game was produced.
Yeah. So this is being written at like the peak of free hugs nonsense.
This was 2011 to be specific, but yeah.
But
So you're
like
right
his
about there.
subdued design. You know, he's not as outrageous and flamboyant as, some of the other characters. He's kind of
Others.
yeah. He's got a sort of
Asterisk.
sketchy lawyer vibe, but he used to work with Gregory Edgeworth. I remembered his name. I'm a little tired.
Miles' dad.
And
so.
he immediately comes out saying he's like, Miles, you betrayed me. You went with Von Karma. Like, I don't trust you. Like, you have to prove to me that you understand your father now.
Mhm.
Like, kind of a cool motivation for Edgeworth here. Like, okay, reckon with your father's past and who you used to be and all that fun stuff. So I was like, this is a cool theme. And, then there's some more circus, wacky hijinks. Words are difficult.
Right.
It's not huge.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stuff going on, and that's just kind of a wench in the case.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice sub-theme, and I don't know if we're going to see more of it in this game, but I would like to. I would be interested.
The subtitle is called Prosecutor's Path.
Mm-hmm.
And Edgeworth sure does seem to be asking himself, should I be a prosecutor? Should I be a defense attorney? Should I follow in my father's footsteps? So I feel like there's going to be some kind of running theme through here. And I don't know if y'all took a look at the next case visual when it pops up to ask you to save.
Oh,
but
yeah, okay.
But yeah, if you've seen that, then you have a little bit of an idea that we're gonna not leave this behind at the very least. I don't know the exact details, but it seems like there will be more to this throughout the game.
Yeah. Who else was fun? The dopey little prosecutor.
I was about to ask, do you like Sebastian DeBest?
Is strangle him.
Is he Rose Core or is he anti-Rose Core?
He is, but I want to kill him. This Rose Core goes a couple different directions, and
right.
I do think I want to like hanging out with Hot MILF. Good for you, buddy. Like,
yeah.
All right, whatever's going on there, cool.
We stand a MILF hunter.
Like, that's clearly the only reason you're around. But yeah, and also she's very me core, but also she annoys me. I'm annoyed at her. So it's sort of like, wow, you look amazing. Shut up. Leave me alone. Stop talking about the goddess of law. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I hate you. But you look so cool. Extendable gavel. Come on, everybody. And
right.
So some good times were had. Definitely feel like there was a little bit of rambling and yada yada, and surprise animal here, or surprise animal there, and what's his name, the assassin guy, they build up to him super hard. They're like, this is someone from Miles Edgeworth's past, it's him, it's this guy, and I'm like, it's not Von Karma, that doesn't make any goddamn sense, he's probably dead, that can't be him. And then they're like, here he is, and it's like, okay, this is just a completely
it's an assassin that Miles put away at some indeterminate point in the past.
Yeah,
and he's important.
Huge build up to here's a completely new character with no hints, just here you go.
You know what I thought it was going
to
be?
That's fine, but
when they mentioned a blind character, before they revealed he was an assassin, they just kept referring to the fact that he was a blind character. And I thought for a split fucking second, the only character I know that has vision problems it's fucking Godot.
Takes a sip of my coffee. Yeah, I was also that doesn't make any sense either.
It wouldn't have made any sense, but that I was sitting here being like, oh, fuck, Godot?
I mean, Miles at least knows who that guy is.
Exactly. And
they have been in the same courthouse before. That would have been cool.
This case goes out of its way to introduce a lot of characters to you. There's oh, wait, before we go into that, Ben, how did you feel about this case?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I really did enjoy this. I think that there's a lot of like really fun stuff to like grab onto and talk about in this case. There's a lot of characters. There's a whole bunch of stuff with the way that like the prison is portrayed, and that the way that the game depicts prison and prisoners and the law system and how it interacts with it, which I think is really interesting, and I kind of want to get into that a little bit. But yeah, I agree with everybody that it's a little long. I feel like there could have been some condensing going on with some of the like interrogations that you go through. It feels like if we had, I know they wanted to make Justine like a formidable opponent because obviously DeBest is not, but it felt like if maybe we had one or two less encounters with them, the game would the case would not have felt nearly as like oppressive,
they
in
talk
its
too
length.
much.
So, but I understand. My suspicion right now is that I would not be surprised if some of these characters show up later in this game. Like obviously we know Justine and Sebastian will, but I would not be surprised. Dogen, they built him up so much. There's no way that boy doesn't show up somewhere later in the game. You know what I mean?
I just, I wish there had been, like, more build-up other than, like, halfway through this case. Or, like, a third,
Right,
I was just like, what? Who the fuck is this old man?
It's,
What the hell?
It's kind of interesting because, like, with the previous game, we had the idea that this was going to be an overarching narrative, and it was very clear how it was an overarching narrative, because like we would literally have Miles Edgeworth being like told at the end of every case, being like, and that's why I had to do blank, and like go back further into time or whatever.
Right.
But this one is just like, oh, by the way, we're gonna go visit Horace Knightley in prison. Oh my god, he's dead. Oh no, we should figure this out. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess you're just solving a mystery in the fucking prison, which is, we didn't discuss this. It's attached to the detention center. It's literally the entire, every time we play as Phoenix Wright and we go to the detention center, we are in the same building as the prison.
It's been there this whole time.
It's been there the whole fucking time.
Weird, like, even Miles is like, wow, this prison seems kind of fucked up. Like, yeah,
Right.
Miles? Yeah!
Every time we put away a Von Karma, a Godot, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, Dahlia got executed, though.
Yeah, but she had to go to prison before she got executed.
I guess, yeah.
She was in there. She was in there hugging an owl or something. Fucking...
What animal did Dahlia get?
I think she got like a butterfly enclosure.
I mean, there is an implication later, as we talk about, like Dogen say that he was transferred here, right?
Yeah.
So not everybody who we put away goes to this specific prison, it seems like.
But Frank saw it, did.
But yeah, Frank sure did. He was here.
We never got to see Frank's animal buddy.
Frank,
just all of them, right?
He's a model citizen. He doesn't need an animal. He
was helping out with the circus. He was putting mud packs on all the animals. And that kind of thing.
Listen, job training in prisons, like actual attempts at rehabilitation versus like continued incarceration. That's good.
Frank's not.
They're just doing everything very bad here.
Hey,
right.
Wait.
It was something
Should we all say they were all very anti-prison?
Yeah,
I was about to get into that actually. I was about to say so basically we're all prison we're all prison abolitionists. You're listening to a leftist Ace Attorney podcast.
Yeah.
Full disclaimer here, right? But it is really it's really fascinating that like this prison is going through things that are like rehabilitation with their prisoners, but yet unfortunately the person who is enabling that rehabilitation is the villain.
Yeah.
And they are also rehabilitating them poorly as a result. And I don't know, like there's definitely like a tone throughout the whole game where it's like, this is goofy. Like Edgeworth and like, is kind of like, this seems silly a bit, with the whole animal thing. Like
this seems inhumane towards the people.
Why?
But
it's like, why would you dare to think that you could rehabilitate these prisoners? Is a little bit of the vibe at times in certain dialogue trees, right? So it's like, well, I wish you would be a little. But also, listen, disclaimer, unfortunately, we're playing a game about a cop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't escape it. You can't escape it entirely.
Why is there
because
a
he is a
mirror at the
prosecutor.
prison?
Why
Exactly.
is there a mirror in this prison?
Why is there a mirror in this prison? So, like, we get introduced to, like, Frank Side, who, like, the villain from the very first case, and he, like, has gone through no change. He's not any better. He's still a piece of shit. We get introduced to Jay Elbert, like a former boxer who is also a murderer, and his pet is a small polar bear cub named Rocky. I love these two. I love these two. Go
They're
ahead.
Cute.
The polar bear is not animated like an actual. It's like a cartoon polar bear, and it is so fucking adorable. And like, I hate Jay Elbert because he does not respect the polar bear.
Yeah, the polar bear loves him. It jumps into his arms with
Spoiler
affection.
alert, Jay Elbert tries to fucking do a jailbreak, but gets caught because of the polar bear, because the polar bear loves him too much. And he jumps on his chest and, like, outs him. And he's like, no, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean, he loves you. You should have taken the goddamn bear, you moron. If you
find a way for him to come with you.
Listen, he stole a guard's uniform. If he put the uniform over the bear and just pretended to be a fat guy, he could have gotten away with it. He could have just had it.
It's Ace Attorney universe. That works.
That works. We're moving a little too ahead here, but I just really love Jay Elbert and the polar bear. We don't even get introduced to our quote unquote client until Ray Shields show up, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm actually defending the guy they accused for being the murderer, and his name is Cy Monkeys, who is Regina Barry's fucking assistant."
Oh, and he's getting ratatouilleed around by a monkey.
No, by Money the monkey.
Yeah,
from
villain.
From the Barry Big Circus.
It's the one and only.
Oh,
we get
again,
to see
Kill Bill sirens going off in my head.
We get to see animated
Is Money the monkey evil?
Oh, you know what? We forgot to talk about the most important character who's returned for this case. Missile the dog.
Oh yeah, we can get there. There's a lot of there's missile content.
There's so much going on here.
Everybody. His JPEGs are exactly the same.
The metal detector.
The one and only.
One. I wish Miles had made a joke about, or not a joke, but some sort of quip about it or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
That could have been nice.
But yeah, I do want to quick go around with some of these characters and see what everybody's opinions on them are. Dessy, did you like the defendant, Simon? Did you find him funny or endearing, or is he just kind of there?
He's just kind of there, I think, for me. Because you interview him and then you go and do other stuff and totally forget about him until he comes up again significantly later. It's like, oh, by the way, he was suspected of the murder because he was here doing this at the time.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
And every time Miles closes his eyes, and he's like, I'm a defending attorney's assistant, and I have to remember to believe in my client. What was his name again?
What was his name again?
That is kind of me,
Simon
though.
Keys. So he does the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil thing with the monkey on his head, pulling his ponytails around to puppet him. So they're doing a little bit of a Ratatouille thing. I wrote double check the dates, and yes, this came out just after Ratatouille, so it is definitely possible that there was a little bit of a reference here.
You know what else there was a reference to?
What was that?
When you are in one of the early rooms and there's a guard petting a cat.
Yes.
And if you go talk to that guard, everyone immediately becomes stupid around the cat and starts making cat noises, except for Miles. And if you ask what the cat's name is, his name is Nermal, so he's a Garfield reference.
I forgot about Nermal.
I lost it. I was like, I gotta go take a break. I gotta walk around the block.
Yeah, again, with some of these things, I don't know if that was the fan translator putting it in, or if that was in the original. But that feels like something that the fan translator would add in. But that's what the localizers would do anyway, is change jokes accordingly for the audience. So that kind of stuff I'm cool with.
It's kind of strange because this is the fan translations, we're getting references to other media, with Rocky and Normal. And I'm wondering was there any references to outside media, in base Ace Attorney translation? Because, that's the kind of stuff that I always think about when I think
They
about
made like jokes that were popular at the time.
Yeah, there
That's
were meme
haven't
references,
aged
remember?
super
Like,
well.
we had the This Is Sparta joke and that kind of stuff.
my eyes just like bugged out because I just remembered the lead speak guy. Yeah, never mind. This is in line. I fucking
It's all
forgot.
normal.
You blocked that one off.
I opened up that door and it was pain. I hate Simon Monkeys. He sucks.
Okay.
No more comments.
So we're pro Raymond. We are pro wrestler who I already forgot his
Boxer,
name.
J.
Yeah, who's
Elbert,
Raymond again?
Jailbird.
Ray
Jailbird.
Shields.
Ray Shields.
Ray
Okay,
Shields.
yeah.
Ray Shields.
I think I like him.
I like him.
Yeah. Are we pro Sirhan Dogan, the assassin?
Yeah, I like him.
I need more data.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was cool.
I'm pro his.
I like.
I'm pro his dog.
Yes.
The dog looks
Anubis.
good.
It
Dog
was very
sprite's
fun
sick.
when we got all these animal sprites of them all moving around. It's so rare to have extra sprites of things in Ace Attorney, so
Yeah, there's
to
like a
see
cute
like
little
10
pig.
animals starting to go around, it's like, oh!
I see a little bunny that's like sitting around. I'm like, it's you. You did this.
Banicula.
Banicula.
Sirhan Dogan, chess enthusiast, former assassin, blind, has a seeing eye dog named Anubis. I think he is simply there to be evil, and like that is his only purpose.
He's a red herring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a red hand character, and like
They're trying to see if we think he's like really great so they can bring him back later, but I'm not sure about him.
I'm straight up fine with never seeing him again. I don't think he's that interesting. I don't think he has like a. Well, if you think about it, this is the second case in a row that has an assassin related to it. The first one being Shelly the Killer, and now there's Stohan Dogan. I didn't make that connection.
Yeah,
till
I
I
wonder
like
if we're
Shelley
going
the
somewhere with
Killer.
that.
I like Shelly. I'm not so sure about Dogan yet.
We like Shelly. Shelly's cool, but like
We're a pro Shelly podcast.
we're a pro Shelly podcast. I think the only reason I don't like
Pro
it,
Shelley and the horrors that he's inflicted upon
yeah,
Maya.
Maya was fine. Maya
She didn't eat for 12 hours. That was the worst thing that happened to her.
So like, there's a lot of characters in this case. I like a lot of them, except for the ones related to the Very Big Circus. I do like, the saddest part is I do like the Very Big Circus theme, the song that plays. It's almost like horrifying. It's like every time I hear it, I like stop and I think to myself, oh my god, I get killed by fucking Pennywise, but instead of Pennywise, it's a blonde girl with a lion. The other two characters we're introduced to are Justine Courtney, a judge who's like a cleric of the court, and then there is Sebastian
She's
DeBest.
not a very good judge either.
Not a very good judge.
Like she's out here jumping to conclusions, like
Bias.
making her own shit up.
She's very partial.
Yeah, she is acting basically as a prosecutor, but she's a judge. My dad, the judge, would never do this.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely still have a running theme of judges, being like just totally enraptured by the wrong evidence.
Yeah,
so that keeps happening. But yeah, so we've got our two flavors of judge, as Iro said on the stream, which is we've either got doddering old men or dommy mommies. Those are your two choices for judges in the entire Ace Attorney universe.
She's
I mean,
hot.
if I gotta, all right. Damn, which one do I pick? Like I'm a defense attorney. I have to choose which judge I have to go in front of.
I choose old man judge.
I know
time.
that's the right choice, but I can't make it. I'm not strong enough.
You get on his good side right away. Just hand him your business card.
I can't.
I think he makes me laugh.
But the other room is right there.
Courtney, like I said, I love her design. I think she looks amazing. She's got some cool, if slightly weird animations, which, it's Ace Attorney, so,
Yeah.
But I don't like her. I don't like her.
You don't like
She's
her?
really annoying.
She definitely strikes me as the kind of character where she's going to be a thorn in our side the whole game. And at the very end, she's going to have to make the one decision to come down on the real side of justice, and then she's going to do it at the last second and side with
either
Miles.
that or she's a murderer.
Yeah, that's the only other option.
Yeah, she's
Those
the
are your
villain
two
of the
paths.
case. Yeah, she's gonna suck the entire time and make one good decision, so we're supposed to forgive her for all her mistakes, or she's the villain.
I would actually love it if what happened was that fucking Sebastian the Best turned out to be a killer, but he's actually a really good fucking killer. Completely incompetent prosecutor. Does not know what he's doing. I loved his little like a hoge.
It's all a farce, like it's an act he's putting on.
No, it's not even a farce. He's just weirdly talented at being a killer. But like he's not even like when it comes to prosecuting, he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. But the second it comes for him to cover up a body, he does it perfectly. That's not gonna happen.
Speaking of Sebastian, he's got some really good animations, right?
He whips himself in the face.
I love that one.
With his little conductor. Yeah, it's such a good animation. Like, they do the really good
animation.
cartoon lips, like, flying up to the side, and his head whips and his hair does a nice little spin to it. It's a very good animation. Whoever did all those, did a great job, because it really makes you just...
A lot of animations in this game are really good.
Yeah, you just look at him and you're like, oh my goodness, you sad little man.
Like, I again, all I can say is, like, good for him, but, like, this isn't a good way to get a job. Like,
right. Did anybody else, some of the dialogue between him and Justine, she was kind of, like, covering for some of his mistakes, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, like, it definitely seems like, is he like the kid of like the high prosecutor or something? And so they were like, you gotta take my son and make him a good prosecutor. Follow Justine around now, Sebastian. Like, that's kind of the vibes that I'm getting here. And that she maybe actually hates him, but she has to act, be a teacher to him essentially and escort him around.
Part of me feels like it might be sort of the other way around, where she knows he's so incompetent that she can do what she needs to do or get what she needs to get done because he just can't do it well enough that she can just
he'll do whatever,
tell him what to do and he'll do it. Yeah,
he'll do whatever she says, and he's too stupid to remember her. Like,
he's like rules. Right though. I'll do the same.
Yeah, I'm saying good for him.
Yeah, I don't know how this dude won the fucking lotto, but he did. It's fucking upsetting. I also do love theme with Sebastian the Best. Little goofy ass theme that starts playing whenever he tries to show you up, and it's like he doesn't even remember what a metal detector is.
Right.
It's really fucking good. Like, the theme with Sebastian the Best is really... I love characters who are like unabashedly are dipshits, and this guy is primo dipshit.
He's very stupid. I do want to kill him, but I like him.
So, Justine threatens Edgeworth throughout the case here with the Prosecutorial Investigation Committee,
the PIC.
And she says that you're a loose cannon, Edgeworth. You could have caused an international incident in your last case, so we are going to take away your badge if you make one more mistake. And they take him off this case because he tries to start investigating what happened to Knightley, right?
Yeah.
And so she says, nope, me and Sebastian are going to be the one who are investigating it. So, Edgeworth, upon bumping into Ray, he says, you know what? I'm going to swallow my pride. I want to be an assistant again. Can I be a defense attorney's assistant and help defend your client, Simon? And Ray's like, oh, boy, of course you can, Miles boy. A little lad.
I don't fucking trust you, but of course.
Yeah. So he's tickled pink by that. So this seems to be like, again, another overarching theme. In addition to Miles reckoning with his past and the legacy of his father, we're also getting this hovering gavel over top his head the whole time that could come down at any point if he makes one mistake as a prosecutor.
Not only that, but Ray Shield he also is constantly flipping. It's weird how he always gets investigative fucking rights. He's always all right, I'll be an assistant to Francisca. Okay, I'll be an assistant to Ray Shields. And then sometimes he's just asking people hey, can I investigate, please?
Yeah.
Please.
Are we going to be doing this the rest of the game? Are we going to be
100%.
defense attorneying with Ray the rest of the game, you think?
That could be nice.
Probably, since the best is there.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, what if he has to be the best assistant?
No.
No.
That might happen, dead ass.
But
I
at
would
the
eat him
we got
alive.
I kind of said this on the Let's Play that we recorded, but I suspect, right, that this is the arc of this is gonna be Miles Edgeworth is like, well, I tried out being a defense attorney for a while, but you know what? My path is the prosecutor's path.
Yeah.
And I just got to find the truth from the other side of the courtroom with that man.
I also-
You know.
Everyone keeps saying that man a lot, and to refer to everything.
It's really
and it's
funny.
like,
Multiple people.
yeah, about multiple different characters all the damn time, and I'm like, there's got to be some like translation in Japanese that like sounds.
There's a
less
way to
awkward.
refer to people without saying their name and just leaving it vague.
Yeah.
Essentially how that man is, but it sounds more eloquent in Japanese, right?
Yeah, I
But-
bet it does. If there's like a specific word for it, it will sound a lot better.
I also,
Yeah. Now, was anybody else baffled when Ray kept talking about, I'm going to report back to that man about your behavior, Miles? And then he reveals that he's talking about Gregory Edgeworth. And I'm like, what are you doing? Are you going to his grave?
Yeah,
And
he's sitting on
talking to his
grave.
gravestone and saying, like, so today, Miles, he royally fucked up.
you got a fucking
Maybe.
monkey trainer killed. Got a monkey trainer killed.
He trired to assist me in this case, and he was just, oof. He's not cut out to be a defense attorney, Greg.
I think that, like, at the end of the game, Miles Edgeworth is going to have this whole arc where he's like, I know what it means to be a defense attorney, I know what it means to be a prosecutor, but I'll define my own means of justice or whatever, and then he'll become his own style of prosecutor, where he fights for the people or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, fucking Ray Shields gets smooshed on the lips by one Patty Rowland.
He does.
The
He
final
does sort of make
character
out
that we
with
have
her.
not discussed about.
Yes.
The warden. Is anyone else down bad for her? Or is it just me?
I mean, she's problematic, but yeah.
Here's the moment where I realized Patty was a killer. Is where she kisses her animal on the lips. I don't trust that. I don't trust people who kiss their animals on the mouth. You like, if you tongue
She
your
has like a weasel around her neck.
she has a
Yeah.
weasel around her neck. If you tongue your animal, you're a killer.
Well, I mean, I'm not
Killer.
actually going to argue with that point because I think you have a ground to stand on there. But
I Patty Rowland, before she shows up, she's like, the prisoner is my family, and that's why I have all these animals here,
Red
because I love
flag.
animals, and
Oh, yeah.
I want to listen. Before that, I actually didn't think she was the killer. I was like, oh damn, she's kind of down bad for real though. But like, I'm as soon as we started like accusing her, I was like, oh no, Patty, please don't do this to me. You're breaking my heart.
I believe it was in the second Let's Play video is when I was like, no, it's Patty. It's definitely her. It's her. It's the warden. There's no way it's not, because we started to get we looked at the map, right?
Yeah.
And so as I was looking at the map, there's only the one path, right, to get into the prison, except if you go through the warden's
Yeah.
office. And I was like,
and she's
I was
like,
like,
no one can come in
oh.
here, only me.
yeah, and I
And
was
I'm
like,
like,
well, I've figured this one out.
Can I?
Very early, so unfortunately the whole time I was like, let me at her, I know it's her. But I had to prove that it wasn't Dogan first, and then it wasn't Simon.
So
See,
like,
everybody talk too much.
everyone talked way too fucking much.
They talk too much. Let me do it.
We had to interrogate Dogan. We had to interrogate we had to interrogate J.L. Bird. Then we interrogated Frank Saw, and then we interrogated Dogan, and then we interrogated, I believe, both Justine and Courtney, like,
and then
twice.
we did Jay again.
Yeah, we had to do Jay again because he got caught after he tried to do a jailbreak, and then
Right.
and then we
Because of Rocky.
and then we interrogated. I think we go back to Justine. We fight fucking Courtney and DeBest like too many times. So like,
It's like 3 or 4 times.
I feel like
total.
if it was just him and he did like funny little bits for a
It'd be
little
fun.
while and then ran away, I would be a lot happier. But every single time she's like, no, adults are talking. And then she talks like way too much. And
yeah,
I'm like, could adults talk like a little bit less? I am jet lagged and I need to finish this case.
I think it would have been fine if they like have the best do most of the like rebuttals, and then when she steps up, it's like all of a sudden really fucking hard, and it's like, oh shit, she actually knows what the fuck she's talking about.
Right.
And then we go out to the courtyard, we investigate again, and then we find out this whole thing happened. And like the breakdown of the case is actually like kind of insane. So like Dogen is he's like one of those super prisoners who get like smuggle shit in. Schmuggles,
right.
She's schmoovin' that product.
Smuggling.
Schmuggling.
Yeah, schmoovin' product.
So like Dogen's a smuggler, and he does this by threatening the warden in her very life. And the warden goes, "Okay, I don't want to."
And her family.
And her family, the prisoners. So she acquiesces, and she gets product in from outside. Frank brings it in, and then they bring it in through the fucking prison.
Through the gate.
I slapped 3 times in real life. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yes.
So what happens then is that the warden is paranoid because Dogen has been like, if you betray me, my dogs, aka my henchmen, will kill you outside the prison. Unknowns to any of this, Horace Knightley happens to be a correspondence chess player with Dogen. Completely.
Right.
Literally, what are the odds? Even Dogen's like, this is unlikely.
Horace Knightley gets put into the detention center. He asks the monkey guy to like bring over his chess set, which has a chisel, so he can stage his own breakout. Meanwhile, J. Elbert is staging his own breakout by digging a hole to Horace Knightley's cell. Again, completely like the chances are wild.
Yep, just unrelated, just happened to be there. And also then he bumps into the pit that has been dug.
Yeah, there's a well in the courtyard that is attached to the tunnel.
Which has a tunnel as well, which was the
so
way that they were smuggling
convoluted.
supplies in from the warden to Dogen.
I started to get very lost in the sauce at this point. Also, I was tired.
So what then happens is that the warden, paranoid, thinks that Horace Knightley is an assassin sent by Dogen to kill her. So she kills him. She takes the body and puts it in the supply drop spot with the help of Frank Sott. The dog then thinks it's a supply drop, goes and picks it up, brings it to the workroom, and no, he brings it to Dogen, and Dogen's like, oh shit, this is a corpse. This isn't my supply. People are going to accuse me of being the murderer because the warden tried to set it up, so I'm going to take the false murder weapon and remove the body somewhere and make it look like I didn't do it. And then this is all happening during a fucking circus presentation because the very big circus is here. This case has the energy of a final episode because it's so convoluted.
We've got the elephant outside as well. We've got the alligator in the courtyard too.
So many dangerous animals.
That are just there. They're just there. And then like we get like I got really concerned because it looked like we were about to really get in the weeds on this like winch and pulley system that Simon created for himself to, make him, because he's part of the performance, right? And oh my God, we got to talk about the performance. But the whole point is he gets blown away by an elephant in the performance. And so he has a pulley system to yank himself up into the air.
Yeah.
And so briefly, they show this whole pulley system. And I got worried that we were about to have to start like figuring out how it works and like whether, and so it's just weights. You just got to know whether there's enough weights for the body for it to be lifted. That's all. It was like, okay, not a big deal.
Yeah.
But
there was definitely a couple evidence bits where I was like struggling, where I was like, I'm not really sure how this, like things where I was like, oh, this seems related. Like at one point you have to prove, there's one with the keys, right? Where like,
that one was tough too.
He couldn't have had the, you have to prove that like he didn't steal the keys in an attempt to escape, which is like, I was struggling. Apparently what you have to do is just present the keys.
Yeah.
Because Miles is like, I know it doesn't say this on the description, but they also searched him and he didn't have the keys on his person. And I'm like, but
a lot
It
of
wasn't
it,
written down for me, so I assumed that wasn't an acceptable piece of evidence to present. So
you have to make assumptions about the evidence based on information that you were just straight up told by other people, as opposed to stuff that was updated in the in your evidence box.
And I never know when it's gonna say like, oh, that's not in there, so it doesn't count, and oh, of course, this thing that I told you like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Kind of
wonder
annoying.
I wonder if that's the fault of translation or if that's the fault of the actual game.
That I would lean more towards game on that
Yeah.
one.
I do as well.
But yeah. So were people endeared by the bizarre lesbian circus performance in which there's a romance between an elephant and a tiger, and Simon is the guy who gets in the middle?
I was just trying to mash, basically. I was
Wait,
like, I
was
don't
it
care about
lesbian?
your deranged storyline, Regina.
Isn't the tiger a boy?
Maybe it was. I thought they used female names for both of them, but I couldn't.
Honestly,
I don't remember.
Now I'm doubting myself.
I know it's Regent the tiger, and I
It's
don't remember.
Regent's a boy. That's a boy name.
Okay.
Also,
No
like,
lesbians.
There's
Shame.
no way that they would bring lesbians into the circus.
Yeah, is the circus a lesbian-free zone?
That cannot be true. Surely.
Do you think Regina Barry knows what a lesbian is?
No.
Okay, there we go.
Now
like,
Maximilian
I thought
Galactica.
you were
Maximilian definitely know. Every fucking assistant is a lesbian.
Well, I was gonna say he's the kind of guy who's like, no, my outfit is not gay at all. This is a very hetero circus here. And you're like looks him up and down. Are you sure about that one, Chief?
He's not. I feel like Maximilian is swinging both ways with a baseball bat, and that's okay. That's fine. I just still don't like him very much.
Yeah, so like, yeah, Simon Keyes gets accused of being a murder constantly by the prosecutor and by DeBest and Courtney because of he just keeps being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they would just rather have this pinned because there's a whole overarching narrative in which that Horace Knightley, instead of being the person who killed fucking the
president
Rook,
of Zhengfa,
Ethan Rook, they're trying to set him up to be the attempted assassin. They're trying to do a cover-up of the events of the first case of this game. And that's why Courtney goes even to as far as to say law matters above the truth. And that's like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, wow, you just made enemies of all the main characters.
Yeah, that's
she says some wild stuff
she
at
says
times.
Crazy
She's
ass
lawful
stuff.
evil. She is objectively lawful evil. Or lawful neutral.
She says at one point to the prisoners, I forget the exact wording, but basically you should be thankful to have to eat free and have your board and room and board taken care of for free by living in prison. You should be thankful.
She's like,
and it's
definitely
excuse me?
pro-death penalty. This is a pro-death penalty, Judge.
Yeah, she says the goddess of law decrees that your life will be over. She's lawful neutral to evil. Definitely not good.
And I'm anti-prison, but I'm even more anti-death penalty. I feel very strongly about that. So
now I want to discuss something here.
Okay.
I want to defend Patty. I want to be her defensive attorney real quick. She's under duress. All right, she's being threatened by an assassin.
Warden.
Yes, she's under duress though because her life is being constantly threatened by a super assassin. If a super assassin was holding your entire prison facility hostage, wouldn't you be afraid?
I simply wouldn't become a prison warden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barring that fact.
I am never. I can't relate to her situation in any way, shape, or form.
It's so hard to fucking defend her because she's a goddamn prison warden.
She's a prison warden, Tiago.
I
Is
know.
it worth defending?
She's a baddie for real, though.
That sometimes that just happens, and you have to let the hot girls go.
Can't let her go. I'm not strong enough.
No cops. ACAB,
Let
Tiago.
go,
ACAB.
Junior. Let it go.
I can't. So she has like a big furry coat. She kisses people on the lips. God, I wish that were me. When fucking Shields got kissed, I was like, you don't even know how good you have it. You bozo.
No, he seems like he knows how good he's got it. He's
True.
He's debilitatingly horny.
Yes.
As for her breakdown animation, did you like that?
Yeah, it's very good.
It's a very fun.
Love it when a
little
bunch
animation.
of animals go flying.
It turns out her fur coat is actually just a bunch of weasels on her, and they all fly off, and it reveals a prisoner's outfit underneath. It's symbolic because even though she was the warden, she was a prisoner of Dogen.
Ah.
Exactly. Anyway, that's why I think she should be left free.
That's deep.
No.
If this was going against Grandpa Judge, he would let me go. He would have let
All
me have
cops
it.
should go to prison. Well, no. All cops should have their jobs eliminated. They should face some consequences.
If Corny was here, though, I'd definitely lose. If both the Mills are in one room, I'd lose. But
well, luckily Miles doesn't have that problem.
Yeah.
I love that Miles, like, Regina Berry, like, she cast her fucking enchantment aura of, like, all men think she's cute, and Miles is just like, okay, and then continues.
That's because
it is very funny when that
Your
happens.
Honor, that's because he's gay.
He just goes, you're like, shut up, you're an animal trainer, you're stinky. And then moves on.
Well, women
Yeah,
are
there's-
smelly and gross and have cooties, didn't you know?
True.
They try to do it the one moment in which Patty actually tries to like use her charms on him, and he just like shuts up and just glares at her.
Yeah.
And it's like the other characters in the scene interpret it as him being flustered by her, but I'm like, I don't read it this way at all.
No, he's just pissed.
How
He's just
dare you
annoyed.
assume? How dare you presume that I might be straight?
The other
Look
thing
at me.
is
The worst thing you could imagine.
yeah.
That's true.
The other thing is about the sprites for Edgeworth. I noticed this at one point when you're interrogating Dogen and you have that crisis of faith, essentially, right? And both Kay and Ray talk to Edgeworth and say, "Hey, you know, remember, you always got to fight for your client, Edgeworth, right?" And Edgeworth has this big, long, like blue text, like thought bubble of him going like, "Yeah, no matter what, I should always defend my client. You know, I should always believe in them and find the truth." But the whole time, they don't have a sprite for him, like sweating or like deep in thought or anything. So it's just his deadpan staring straight ahead like sprite.
He's
And
got a
it's
good
just
poker
so
face.
funny to me. It's so funny to me. For some reason, that one really got me. And I was like, maybe you guys should have added one or two more sprites if you want to have like Miles like really having his, deep in thought, like crises of faith about his job and
I
what
think
he's supposed to
looks,
do.
He just looks like that.
But yeah, he just stares straight ahead. And I'm like, maybe he is maybe he is doing that.
I like there he does like end up several fucking times like in a flustered state though, but only like near the end where like he realizes he has to do like a bluff. Like what basically happens
He
is
has to do a turnabout.
he has to do a turnabout, Your Honor. So like in the very end of the court, like you're in the courtyard and Courtney's like, all right, you said a lot of shit about Patty could be the murderer, and Patty's like over there sweating. And then she's like, but you can't find the fucking evidence. You can't find the murder weapon. So I'm gonna kill that monkey trainer. I'm gonna kill him. And then Edgeworth just goes, yeah, I'm gonna just lie here. I know where it is. And then you have to like fucking point it out of a map. And it's very funny that like he gives you the entire map. So like, oh, you choose the courtyard. Then when you choose the courtyard, you have to choose like a specific thing in the courtyard. And you have to brain blast because when you use the metal detector, you notice that it was activating on the alligator. Why the fuck did Patty feed a knife to the alligator? I thought she loves animals.
I could
Was that-
kill the
Well-
alligator.
I think the implication was just that she instructed it to hold it in its mouth, much like how Anubis did with the chisel. But yeah, that's a very well-trained alligator if you can get it to do that.
It swallowed a knife. Was it in the sheath? Like, did it stab the gator on the inside?
It was just inside the mouth, just
inside the
resting on
mouth.
its tongue, or something, right?
Oh. But-
just inside the mouth kind of thing.
But
But yeah,
Regina
very
Berry
well-trained
was
alligator if
saying
that's the
the
case.
entire time how he had an upset tummy.
Oh, that's true. You're
she
right.
was
You're
guessing that he had the alligator had an, I don't know. It's Allie the alligator. That could go either way, honestly.
Right.
I do like how every prisoner has their, like, every animal person has their own naming convention for their animals.
Mm-hmm.
And
But she said she thought that the alligator had an upset tummy because it wasn't eating.
Oh, but it wasn't eating because it had something in its mouth.
Yeah, so it couldn't open its mouth. Just like we see earlier with the dog.
Yeah.
It won't bark at Miles because it is holding the chisel knife thing in its mouth. So, exact same thing.
So, like, I think a predominant theme in this case is animals, like, revealing their owner's intentions. Rocky with the escape, Anubis with holding the weapon, and now Allie the alligator with the knife.
Yeah. No, that's a decent point to latch onto. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. You said that like an English teacher, like fucking in the front of the room, be like, "Wow, very good,
very good." I'm doing the Ray Shields clapping emote right now.
Yeah, very good.
Hey, listen, your English teacher is so happy you even read the fucking book.
The
so
only
happy.
animal who does not, well, actually, no, the exact animal who releases their intentions is Money the monkey, who controls Simon like a fucking puppet. I was wondering why Simon had such a dumbass fucking haircut. I saw him and I immediately thought to myself, you look stupid, you smell stupid, and you are stupid.
And you were right.
And I was right on all three steps. And it turns out it's because Money the monkey is piloting him in like a fucking mech. And it's just like, oh, god damn it, Simon, can you have like any backbone? So,
I bet Money the monkey's gonna show up later. He's the real mastermind behind everything.
The monkey is running everything.
Money the monkey paid Shelley the killer to kill the president.
Yeah.
He's
got all that money. That's what else he's gonna do with it.
The very big circus is making a play for the presidency of Zhengfa.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, our favorite dog boy showed up, Lang.
Yeah, we get to see Lang for one scene. He shows up. But he says he's gotten demoted or something. He lost his men.
He lost
his guys.
I think
those guys loved him.
I think the reason he lost his guys is because the other guy saw that the head guy was that lady. I forget her name already. The killer.
Callisto
Yu. But like she had another name. Shiha. Shiha was Callisto Yu, who was 1/3 of the Yatagarasu, who was a spy set up by the
somebody else.
Ring. Yeah,
we haven't seen her.
I really thought we were gonna see her this case. I really thought that this was the case. Like, we were going to prison. Makes sense.
Yeah.
She went to a different prison.
Yeah, you wouldn't know my girlfriend. She's at a different prison.
Oh no.
She goes to a different prison.
This must be a men's prison because we see no female inmates. So
that's not true. The warden was there.
I said inmates.
She's an inmate of Dogen.
No, that's a metaphor.
Your Honor, here's my case of why you should let her go. She's a baddie for real. She believes in rehabilitation, even if it's really poor.
If we should just let all hot women go, then we should let Dahlia go.
We did let her go when we dropped her from the noose. Was that too hard?
No, I mean, no. She was imprisoned by her own hate, even after death.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's Your Honor.
Yeah, they do that in Zelda.
was that too harsh? I feel bad about the news joke.
She was a serial killer.
She was a serial killer.
Also, she's not real.
She's not real. Good point. I'm free.
Yep.
Good thing Zelda's real.
As you walk through that hall there, they've got that big sign that says "Eat free, live free in prison."
Yeah, I saw that. That's very good.
And the whole time you're just like looking at that.
That gave me some vibes.
I can't believe every time you guys go to the detention center, like, oh, by the way, you know when we're talking to Yaki Teriyaki, whatever that guy's name is, prison's next door. Fucking every person. I love to think that every person we put away is in that prison.
Remember when that like young child from a foreign country, a disabled young child from a foreign country was like locked in there?
He wasn't even
the
disabled.
prison was next door. He wasn't, but they didn't know that.
True. Good point.
even though he turned out not to actually be blind, no accommodations were made for his blindness or the fact that he apparently spoke almost no English.
Right.
He spoke more than they thought, but definitely not enough.
Yeah,
and also child,
man.
child for a
Child.
national child.
For a national child.
Like no.
And just 10 feet away off screen, there was a whole circus full of animals just running around the prison.
Do you think that
Which
he got
all have collars. They all have collars that let them go through the doors.
Yeah. So
I thought that was
what
going to be
could
super
go
important.
wrong? Me too. I thought like you carrying your rabbit under your arm so you can get like all over the place, you know?
No, but the
Right.
bracelet would still trigger. Like
Or you
it-
just
Right.
push your rabbit into the room with the other hand. I don't know.
we do
But yeah,
discuss
it never
the
came
fact
up
that,
then.
like,
It's just so that the animals could go wherever they want and you didn't have to worry about them.
it did read to me as like one of those like, hey, let's just wave this around. The animals can go wherever they want. That was like the DM stepping up, being like, "All right, animals can be anywhere." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, really." And that's why the dogs
So that
are-
Anubis could go, from one side to the other of the prison without causing any issue. So that then he could drag the body back fine.
Honestly, I think she should get away with it. We should be a little more lenient on Patty, you know?
Getting away with murder.
No.
I just happened to also look up the cat, since we were talking about the normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original name in Japanese is Wagahai, which is, of course, a reference to the famous Japanese novel I Am a Cat by Natsume Soseki, which, keep that away in your brain for the future. Famous Japanese novel called Wagahai wa Neko de Aru. I Am a Cat.
Wait, am I actually supposed to retain that information?
I mean, Natsume Soseki is a...
You don't have to. He's not your mom.
Yeah.
Good point.
He's just a famous Japanese novelist, so that's all. I was just, don't forget about him is all I was saying.
He's the next guy.
You
He's
never
going
know
to
when that
be
might be.
related to a Japanese novelist.
That could be
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe the entire next game, the reason it took so long and this game was never translated is because you have to read the entirety of I Am a Cat inside the game. Just the whole novel's in there,
What
and
did
they
they
haven't
replace?
translated all.
What did they replace in this fan translation? That like fucking warrior cats? Where are we going?
I would love it if Warrior Cats wasn't involved. One
A
of
simpler time.
One of the killers is a warrior cat, and you have to prove it. Has there been an animal murderer yet? No, right? There should be.
No, and that's also why I was like, when they said it, the intro to the case makes it appear that the dog did the murder, right?
Yeah.
I was like, man, we've never had that happen in Ace Attorney yet, and I know Ace Attorney can get grim sometimes, but that feels like a little too grim because then the crime could be pinned on an animal that doesn't know any better, right? And Ace Attorney just doesn't
kind of
feel
have
like
that in, and I shudder to mention it, the Big Berry Circus case.
Oh yeah, with the
right.
lion.
That's true.
Where Regina causes the lion to kill what's his name.
I'm saying that if Patty
Acrobat's
belongs to
brother.
prison, Regina belongs in prison.
Die, but yeah.
He might as
He
well
was
have.
just brutally maimed and paralyzed.
Yeah, he was in a coma for life, you know?
Right.
Regina should also be in the same fucking prison cell as Patty then.
Regina, I think, should also face consequences for her actions, but she won't, apparently.
No, instead she gets to be a lead animal tamer and have a nice fine Tom. That's so fucking ironic. The one person who should be in prison is in fact doing a circus show at the prison. That's fucked, actually.
I mean, again, the portrayal in that case was that she had no idea what she was doing.
I don't
I
care.
believe that she had no
but-
She's still
idea what she was
responsible.
doing.
Yeah, no.
And she was like 15 when she did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like she can't go to prison. Like even if you did a manslaughter,
If you do a manslaughter,
if you do like a little bit of a manslaughter, like sorry, children should not go to prison.
the second she hits 18, I'm booking her. Oh,
That's
fuck.
also illegal. There's a reason these laws are in place. Now it is Japanifornia, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, if I
Apparently,
could,
Murder is murder, and age does not matter.
if I could
You're
prosecute a European blind kid, I could prosecute Regina Berry.
Accidental murder is still murder, even if it happened 15 years ago and you were an 8-year-old.
Yeah, like if fucking what's that kid's name, Manchi? If he could be accused of fucking being a murderer, I'm accusing Regina Berry.
Oh,
Double
man.
standards.
So, So I think we've covered most of the basics with this case. I think, did any like final like wrap up thoughts about any of these characters or like the final confrontation in this case?
Yeah, my final thought is that I guess Regina Berry doesn't deserve to go to prison because she's a child.
Still stuck on Regina.
She should be in trouble, but
I think this entire case was a fun case. I just like it's too long because it feels like a final case, and I'm like, you're on.
There was a lot of like lap. Of like, oh, there's like a scene where you're like, all right, let's go investigate, and everyone's like, no, take a break, and I'm like, like that happens several times. Yeah. And I was like, let's move, let's go.
And Nintendo sneaking in that go outside bit.
Nintendo, don't tell me what to do.
All right. Well, yeah. So, so that was case 2 of investigations. And then at the very end, you get that little graphic for case 3. Somebody's gonna be showing up again for case 3. So. Well, the thing is that we've talked a lot about how this game's long, and so I've made the executive decision after consulting with the rest of the crew here, which is not an executive decision, but you know what I mean.
It's a group decision.
It's a group decision then at that point.
We are all the executives.
We are going to split case 3 up into 2 parts because we have heard that case is long as well. We said we've heard it's longer than case 5 of game 1. I don't know if that's true or not, but as a result, we're going to split it up into 2 halves. So instead of taking 2 weeks to complete it, we're going to take 4. So you will get next time on the podcast, you will get case 3 part 1, and then 2 weeks after that, you will get case 3 part 2. So listen, we got day jobs to deal with, so we just have to split this up a little bit more so that we can accomplish this and do the Let's Plays and edit the podcasts and all that fun stuff in the meantime. So that's the plan for the future. I think that will do it for us this week. You can follow the show online at several different places. You can follow us on Twitter at Ace Attorney Pod. You can follow us on co-host under the username Ace Attorney. And you can visit our website.
Capcom.
Yeah, and you can visit our website, which is updatedautopsy.report. And so you can use all those locations to stay up to date on our latest episodes, as well as the streams, as well as the Let's Plays of Dessy and I and Iro playing through the game. So you can follow me on Twitter and co-host under the username Yotseben. Dessy, where can people find you?
I don't know anymore.
Damn.
Until we find a better social media website.
No worries. And Tiago?
Simply run into the woods and you may find me.
I like that.
I'm still on Twitter. It's Tiago S. Dutra on Twitter.
All right. And Rose?
You can find some of my art on Twitter at TromArts, and you can find the rest of me on co-host and on Tumblr at Rose Nonsense.
Alrighty. Thanks so much for listening. We hope that you will rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Those reviews really do mean a lot for us. And hey, whenever we get a new review, who knows, we might read it on the show. Next episode, we will be playing the...
Wait, time out. We will read it on the show because we need reviews.
No, only if you're nice.
Yeah, you got to write a nice review.
If you're
Listen,
mean to
if
us,
you write,
we're not
if you write a
gonna read it
shitty
on
1-star review,
I'll read it.
Unless it's really funny. If it's really funny, we might still read it.
If you make me read a slur, though, I'll kill you.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, don't do that. Jesus
that wouldn't
Christ.
be funny, so you would never do such a
right?
thing.
The optimal way to get heard on the show is write a funny 5-star review. Guaranteed it'll show up on the show then.
Bro.
So next episode, we will be playing the first part of Case 3 of Ace Attorney, which is The Inherited Turnabout. So let's see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.